Happy Feast of the Annunciation from the Theology Department here at St. Mary's University. We prepared this short video to highlight some of the theological aspects of images of the Annunciation in Scripture and tradition. Dr. Allison Gray is Associate Professor and Director of our graduate program. I am Dr. Todd Hannikin, Professor and Chair of the Department of Theology. We're also working on a larger project in collaboration with the Oblate School of Theology at Mexican American Catholic College, with funding support from the Catholic Biblical Association and Confraternity of Christian Doctrine. Check us out at lawbiblia.stmarytx.edu. There you can find out about our in-person workshops and online videos in English and Spanish. Enjoy!
When we see Mary reading in all these images, we might wonder what text she's looking at. Some of the images suggest it's a specific passage from Isaiah, the biblical prophetic book. In Isaiah 7:14, we read, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child and shall bear a son and shall call him Emmanuel." You might know that Emmanuel can be translated from the Hebrew as God with us, but you might not know the complicated history of interpretation around the young woman. In Hebrew, the word is Alma, which literally means young woman. But when the Hebrew Bible was translated into Greek, creating the version scholars call the Septuagint, the translator used the Greek word parthenos, which carries the connotation of virginity. That is, in that translator's time, the basic assumption was that if a woman was young, she must be unmarried and a virgin. So when early Christians read their scriptures in Greek, the text says, "Look, the virgin is with child and shall bear a son." And it was easy for them to draw a direct line from Isaiah's prophecy to Mary and the claims about virgin birth. They asserted that the prophet was predicting the virgin birth and the incarnation of Christ. In fact, this prophetic statement became an important source for claims among some Christians that Mary always remained a virgin, despite marrying Joseph and giving birth to Jesus. The perpetual virginity of Mary is a doctrinal teaching within Catholicism and the Eastern Orthodox churches. It relies not only on the passage from Isaiah, translated Parthenos, but on a second century text from outside the biblical canon called the Proto-Evangelium or the Proto-Gospel of James. This text contains a scene in which a midwife verifies that Mary remained a virgin even after giving birth to Jesus. It also teaches that Joseph had children from a previous marriage to help explain why the Gospels then talk about Jesus's brothers and sisters. They were half-siblings. Because the Proto-Evangelium is not part of the biblical canon, Protestant Christians do not consider it an authoritative source, while Orthodox Christians accept it as part of the wider tradition, and Catholic Christians hold the doctrine of perpetual virginity but have rejected the Proto-Evangelium since the 5th century CE. Whether Mary is reading the Isaiah 7 passage or something else, we know that Mary is engaging with the word, in Greek, the logos. That Greek term opens up a beautiful play on words because logos refers not only to scripture, but to Christ the Logos, the Word, who was with God in the beginning, according to the prologue of John's Gospel. The images show us that even before she bears Christ the Logos in her womb, Mary bears the Logos, the scriptures, in her hands, her thoughts, and her heart.
One of my favorite images of Mary and the Annunciation is a series of frescoes by Fra Angelico. His art captures the connectedness of the Old and New Testaments, and how we understand the new by understanding the Old. His scenes of the Annunciation feature in the background the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden in Genesis 3. What was he pointing out to us by juxtaposing Mary with Eve? It was a contrast, picking up on the angel's hint that Mary is the opposite of Eve. Gabriel greets Mary with Ave, which is Ava spelled backwards. Gabriel already knows what is going to happen next. Eve brought sin into the world. Mary will bring redemption into the world. Eve lost the tree of life by reaching for the tree of knowledge. Mary brings us back to the tree of life on which her son is crucified. Eve, Augustine teaches, was motivated by pride. Mary models humility. Eve took knowledge of good and evil. Mary did not know man or evil, but only good. Eve sought wisdom from a tree. Mary received wisdom through whom all things were made, and gave it flesh. Eve sewed fig leaves to cover her shame. Mary, tradition teaches us, weaved the curtain of the temple, which tore when her son died. Eve received her name because she is the mother of all the living. Mary is the mother of the true life, who rescues Eve's children from death. Eve was tempted by a serpent, understood as a fallen angel, the devil. Mary obeys God's will alone. Eve comes across as a negative figure in Christian interpretation, more so than on the surface of Genesis 3, because she becomes the foil for extolling Mary's virtue. Early church father John Chrysostom expounded on these contrasts and emphasized how smart, discerning, and educated Mary was, in contrast with the gullible Eve. For this reason, St. Mary's University and so many other Catholic universities are named after Mary in one way or another. Mary, especially at the Annunciation and in her childhood, is depicted as reading. I think she must have been a theology major to have known and reasoned everything John Chrysostom attributes to her. He expands the Lucan account of the Annunciation into a full cross-examination of Gabriel by Mary. Mary catches him in contradictions that Christians would later call mysteries, that her child would be fully God and fully human. What student of Christology has been less confused? Mary knew about Genesis 6, where sons of God, understood as angels rebelling against God, impregnate human women. Mary investigated Gabriel's intentions and crafted her answer in a way that was foolproof. Chrysostom understood Mary to have said, "Let it be done to me according to God's will," leaving no room for a cunning angel to trick her. These images of Mary as a scripture scholar, one who receives revelation while studying revelation, resonate especially with me. As one who applies critical reason in pursuit of wisdom, Mary is a fitting patron for our university and all who participate in its mission of advancing learning.